Welcome to part 2 of the Tandie Jacobs Born2Differ show, where I'm joined here by Yeukai Taruvinga. In part 1, Yeukai shared an amazing story. So if you haven't watched it, please do, because it connects to part 2. And in part 2, Yeukai, we want to talk about Active Horizons.
Yes.
What is Active Horizons? Tell us.
Active Horizons is a youth-led organization that I set up back in 2006.
2006?
Yes, so
okay.
It's an organization that supports young people, mostly from the BME community or the migrant refugee communities.
Okay. And you started this by yourself in 2006?
Yes.
And how big was it then, or how big is it now?
Yes.
Since you started this?
So when I started in 2006, I didn't have the vision of, obviously, I didn't have the vision or even think that would be as big as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So I set it up because I came here as a young refugee from Zimbabwe,
Mm-hmm.
not having family. So having experienced a situation where I had no support, no cushioning around me, I realized I need to create a safe space for other young people to thrive, basically. Yes. So it initially started as a self-help group.
Okay.
We're just young girls that I was...
How old were you then when you started this?
What was it? I was... 2006, I was around...
25?
No, 23, 24, not 25.
Okay. I like the way you emphasize, no, not on 25 yet, Tandie.
Yes,
I was younger than that.
I was younger than that. But, so like I said, I was inspired because of my own experience that I shared previously.
In part 1,
Yes. And through my journey, I met other young people in similar circumstances.
Who had no support, no family, no cushioning, no one to help them.
No.
And I think a lot of people, because a lot of people, when they came during the time of 2000, 2001, 2002, they came on their own.
Yes.
We had no family, no support network. You know, you were literally on your own coming into a foreign land.
Exactly.
And they were young.
Yes.
You know, I think 10 years later, most of us have got kids, are married, and life is completely different now.
Exactly.
Okay, so you were about 23, 24 when you started this.
Yes.
And it was just a small group?
It was a small group of it was mostly girls anyway. There were no boys at the time, So I just felt as girls we needed that safe space to be able to establish ourselves, a platform where we could share, bounce off ideas and experiences. And how I came to actually establish it was because I was facing these challenges, as I said. I used to go to other community programs to get support myself.
That's good.
Look for friendship or just advice. And I realized I was living in London, and I've been living in London since I came. Where I was based, there wasn't any, so I used to travel a lot to just go and get involved. But through that, I learned something about being in the UK, that in order for you to be better for yourself, you need to have experience, you need to know the language. The language, in terms, not necessarily the English language, but
the terminology in which how they communicate.
To navigate yourself, for you to, get whatever you want to get. So I learned that, and at the time I used to go to Yvonne Marimo's group or project, Zimbabwe Women's Network.
I haven't heard of her yet.
One of my mentors and inspiration.
Who
actually inspired me, and I learned a lot of great things from her.
What's her name again?
Yvonne Marimo.
Yvonne Marimo.
Yes, she used to run the Zimbabwe Women's Network. Some women used to be part of it. So I used to volunteer. I used to learn how things are done.
So you were a very active person.
Yes.
And you wanted to engage and not just like sit at home, go to work and everything. Because at this time, you had established yourself, you had got your papers.
I did not get my papers at the time.
You hadn't got...
No.
You didn't have...
No. So
so
I had, like I said, I had to do something for my life and not wait for papers, because they didn't determine. I felt that's not going to determine my future.
I like
papers
that.
Or not.
I like that.
Yes. And when I was telling my story to my friends, that I'm not friends but others, that I'm running this project, some didn't understand how am I doing it. I was like, you know what?
Was it a place for you to, sorry to check it, but was it a place where you found comfort in, and not then to think about your situation in starting this project? Was it something that you found yourself, found comfort in?
Partly, yes, found comfort and divert my
attention. Yeah, something positive.
So if I don't change my life or do something about it, no one will.
And you see, that's one thing I always say. People sometimes wait for somebody else to come and change their life. You have to change your life yourself.
Yes.
You've got to want it. So basically, it was all to do with your mindset. It's all to do with the mindset, isn't it?
Because I would have not started it because of my own inconvenience.
Exactly, I don't have papers.
Or networks. I don't have the right networks. But you create networks. You find out how do you create them, right? So I had to take that step.
Okay.
Remember, what also drove me as well, I was, it's like I had no right to work, right? I had no right to, I had no
public funds
to get to education.
Yeah.
So let me tell you a story as well. So I said to myself, you know what, having gone what I went through, in detention, being destitute, facing challenges of being nearly deported, and with the officers trying to beat us up to get into the plane.
Beat you up?
Yes, for us to get into the plane, and I had to fight physically to say, I'm not going back to a place where it's dangerous for me and where I don't like to be. So having faced through those challenges,
I'm sorry, can you Yeukai, just pause for a second. Okay, you are in a role, but this is something that I haven't experienced. And I didn't go through that. I went through a different path in trying to get my own residency to stay in this country, but it was nowhere near as traumatic as your story. Okay, so like right now you're saying that you were beaten up and being forced to get into a plane, to be deported back to a country where you'd be suffering anyway, and yet you had sought asylum, and asylum, as far as I know, means you cannot be deported back to that same country.
Exactly.
So it's as if they're going against their own rules and regulations, their own law and their own system. Your case has been denied and therefore you're going to be deported. But I've sought asylum and therefore you cannot send me back. And then they're beating you up, forcing you to get into the plane.
Yes. So literally I have to physically fight my way not to be on that plane. So it's all those horrendous experiences that made my tummy boil, and I have to create a place where I'm in the right place.
And how old were you then?
That's when I was in detention. That was in 2002.
So you're about 19?
Yeah, 19. Is the time. So when I set up Active Horizons, all that was a driving force to say, look, I'm also going to set a legacy, even for my children and children's children as well. For me to make sure that, when my time on earth passes, at least my children will never go through the same thing. My grandchildren will never go through the same thing. So Active Horizons is that place for me.
Okay. We're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to the Tandie Born2Differ show with Yeukai Taruvinga. So Yeukai, Active Horizons, so you told us your story of what motivated you and inspired you to start this. How big is it now?
So Active Horizons is a registered charity. So it's been registered charity since 2010, and prior to that, it's been operating as an organization as well. Since I think 2006. Why I say 2006 is that's when I formally put it in place. So have the legal structures in place, have a committee. So it's a community organization made up with other young people as trustees. So that's when we formally had it put in place at the constitution. And I then put myself in a position where I wanted to make it grow. Because of the nature of the young people that were coming and the capacity was now at. So I realized we need to formalize it and work with other
organizations and charities,
so that we're really
as effective as you'd want to be.
So Active Horizons is a registered charity. So I've got a team of 8 employers at the moment.
Wow.
And volunteers as well that come in different places. So yearly I work with over 350 young people.
Wow.
Coming on different programs.
Fantastic.
So it's youth empowerment. So what we do is mentoring. So we focus on mentoring, which is one of the key I think facets that young people need mentoring to help them guide them through their pathway in life.
Okay.
So we have got also Youth Voice, which is one of our flagship program. So Youth Voice is central around my experience as campaigning. So we train young people to be young leaders.
Okay, that's
So
good.
we really-
I mean, you are a leader yourself.
Thank
You know,
you.
that's one of the reasons why they removed you from this detention center. They put you. She's the ringleader. She's the one who mobilizes people and stuff.
Yes,
so you've got that in you, isn't it? It's just one of your natural qualities that you
and
have.
I feel I need to then pass it on to the young people because
That's
everyone has
amazing.
got a
That's
spark
amazing
in them.
work. Yeah.
Yes, and we give them those tools to be able to be effective leaders, understand how things work, how the world works, and how do they negotiate
Yes,
their
yes.
lives around it.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of youth leadership, but also social action. So once we train them as young leaders, we attach to a social action issue that they actually practically go out.
Okay, so
And
give me an example
so
of a
an example- yeah.
social action that you.
So an example, locally we're working on beginning of this year, we trained 27 young people via virtual, which was great, in social action. So they came up with 2 important things. One was mental health, emotional well-being, which was as a result of the lockdown
Yeah,
that
that's
affected
true.
everybody, but more so young people. And the other issue of racism. A lot of our young people come to us, and when we have our one-to-one sessions, understanding what's going on in their lives, they talk about their experience of racial bullying, in schools, and that could be as simple as somebody calling them an A-word within the school.
Yeah.
And also somebody just saying, "Oh, your accent." They laugh about
Yeah,
your
they
accent,
laugh about your
for
accent,
example.
yeah.
Or somebody mentioning about how their hair is a bit funny. Simple things, but actually it knocks off their confidence.
It does.
So what we do with the young people, we start from that self
Okay.
identity, because we know as well there's poverty of identity, especially with us who come into a different environment, country,
Yeah.
where you are caught in between. Am I British or am I African?
Am I African?
Because
Even
you want
though,
to fit in as
yeah,
well here.
and even though you were born, and I think it's a lot, especially identity is a very big one. Being born here,
Yes.
but your family is not from here. Your family are from Africa.
Yes.
And as much as you may be British and have everything, your citizenship, being British, but there's always that question as well, where when people ask you, so where are you from, and you say I'm British, and they say no, but where are you from originally?
That's the thing. That's where they get caught up.
And they don't know how to
And they
answer
don't know
that.
how to answer. So one has to understand who they are.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of work.
What are the age groups in terms of your youth?
So yes, it's mostly 11 years to 25
Okay.
years old. So, but in different
Categories,
16
yeah.
plus.
Yeah.
It's mostly around employment, getting them into the right career path.
Oh yeah.
Making sure they make the right decisions. We work with young people in various lives.
Okay.
We also work with young people who are in crime, who are actually doing their time. So we work to help them to reoffend, so we engage them in positive activities.
That is amazing. That is really good.
Some young people who actually are in crime, they've done a first-time offense, and it could be a stupid decision that they made.
And then now
yes,
they
but
don't
we
know how
want
to.
escalate. So yeah, we work with local authorities like youth offending teams to then put them in positive pathways.
So how in terms of like you mentioned the local authority, I was going to ask, which other organizations do you work with
Okay.
that are able to feed into your charity and have helped and supported you to grow or to expand? I mean, you've talked about you've got volunteers, but you also have employees.
So the members of
Yeah. So members of staff who you then obviously are on a salary and they're being paid.
Yeah.
So how have you been able to acquire that support whether it's financially or physically, like volunteers? How have you been able to get it? Because I think that's something that is really important as well.
Yes, so yeah, absolutely. So definitely Active Horizons works in partnership with so many organizations. In terms of like the funding, my day-to-day role is fundraising.
Okay.
So I spend time looking for money to resource our projects and everything. And we get funding from donors, individual donors. We get funding from charitable trusts. We get some funding from local authorities, not mainly because we really want to be much as independent as possible. We also do consulting work, so the trainings that I deliver, bringing in income through that as well. We also have corporate partners. So the corporate partners mainly come into one of our programs, which is our Young Entrepreneurs Project. So we have this Young Entrepreneurs Program where we dedicate training, but encouraging young people to set up their own businesses. So
that's good.
Last year in COVID, we actually trained 17 young people to start their businesses, and now they've gone on to formally register. But what we do is we bring in corporate partners to actually put in the mentoring part of it, to mentor these young people. So for instance, we had Levi Roots.
The guy who made the sauce.
Yes. Our mentors who came to our program
fantastic.
To encourage, because he's got a story to tell as well.
He does.
He's a musician as well. He's a millionaire. He's on but yeah,
I love his sauce on the barbecue ribs.
Exactly. So we're bringing those resources to young people. That's my role.
That's
they say you can be anybody. Don't let any situation. Yes, we go through problems where we come from with families, but don't let it determine your path.
Yes. And you've got the ability to rewrite your story.
Yes.
Something might have happened, like you said, those who might have done one silly little thing in terms of crime, but that you've got the ability to rewrite, to change the story.
Yes.
Don't let that be your story or your path that you go.
And part of my role, really, obviously, to make the organization, survive and be stable, as the director. Also, I work to challenge or be the voice of people from my community within like the statutory services. As we know, like our experiences, I'm based in London Borough of Bexley in terms of strategically positioned. We operate from a community hub, so yeah, we've got a very long list there. We are comfortable there. And so I work with the local authority there to strengthen their policies to do with migrant or black communities. So one of the things that I did in the borough, I actually did the first research looking at the experiences of black young people. Why I did that is because there's lack of data with our own communities. So I took it upon myself to actually
acquire that data and that information,
so that they're able to strategically be involved. And also so that they understand what we go through as well. So those are some of the things that I do in my role.
You're a very busy woman.
Yes, I try to be. As well as being a mom to my son, because he comes along, he goes to Active Horizons as well. Because I want him to see
the hard work and for him to learn. Yes.
That things are they don't just come to the table on its own.
No,
you work hard work. And also so that's what I do.
That's amazing. That is amazing. And we're going to take a quick break. Welcome back to the Tandie Jacobs Born2Differ show, and we're here with Yeukai, who's been telling us about how and when she started Active Horizons. And as this show is about Born2Differ is where we believe everybody was born to be different. Everybody's got something inside of them that they have to let out. And clearly you have got tons of things you want to let out, which you have been sharing, and I can tell that there is more that you are doing as well, because besides the fact that you've got your own boutique with the dress that you wear, but you're doing a lot in the community with Active Horizons, and you said you've got 350 children, is that right?
Yes.
Who you work with, and you have a team that you work with. What challenges have you faced since you started Active Horizons?
Oh yes, so insecurities, just thinking, will I be able to make this possible?
Okay.
Obviously I've got my own fears through my, just growing up. Will I be able to take this thing upon? Many times I'd ask myself, I'm setting up this organization, will I manage it? Will I achieve? So I had those fears always, but also I used to face a lot of negative, I can say, comments, especially not from my own community, no, but whenever I put forward my project, let's say locally, to say this is what I'm trying to do, they'll be like, oh, we're not sure this will be able to
support you,
or I'm not sure this is the best decision or idea. There's other things going on as well. So yes, there are other tons of things going on, other projects, but actually they are not providing the support I'm trying to bring here. So I constantly had to prove myself.
Okay. So you never gave up, in as much as people would say to you that that's not what we want to do, or there is no space for you in the community for something like this, because there are already a lot of projects similar to what you want to do. So why should we support yours, or why should we give you room to do that? But you didn't stop.
No, it didn't stop me, because I believed in it. I had a vision for it. That
the vision.
This is important within our communities. It's needed, which testifies to all the young people that I've supported.
Of course.
A lot of young people have supported, and thank God that a lot come back to me to say thank you, Yeukai, for allowing me to be part of Active Horizons.
Wow.
And then I didn't understand what coming to your to your community organization, coming to your center. I didn't understand. I just thought I'm just getting involved. But now I realize the values that you put in me. The pathway that I enable young people, even this general advice.
You
know where you come from. It takes a village
to raise a child. Definitely.
And that's the role I play.
And the thing is, it's also one of those things where sometimes with young people, they listen a lot more to somebody outside. In as much as we tell them to listen to us as their parents, but they listen a lot more to somebody outside who is not their parent. And the good thing is, if that person is able to instill something positive, to empower them, to strengthen them, to motivate them, and to build their confidence and their self-esteem, which is what you're doing. I think that is the greatest thing ever. And to me, I think there are not as many platforms for that. I also love working with children and with the youth. And I find that a lot of times they come to you because they aren't those kind of platforms in which they can be able to and be open enough to express themselves without being judged. So having Active Horizons is something that you have done and created this platform for people to be able, for young children to be able to come. So you talked about building. So have you got your own building that you've managed to acquire, or what is it like? Or where do you do it?
So yes, we are based at a community hub in So yes, we we bid for the building. So we were successful in the building, and we fortunately got it from Orbit Housing. And I think that's the beauty of it, that is the recognition of the work that I do that made me win that opportunity. And we have got a lot more coming in the future. I can say them now.
But there's a lot in store.
There's a lot in stock. And the beauty of Active Horizons is young people that actually been part of Active Horizons young are now trustees and now come as big
and are now able to support.
They're spreading the word to get other young people involved. Some have gone to work in very big corporations, and they come back as mentors or with most resources.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, and I'm really proud of the team.
Isn't it something as well which I always I think having, like you said, you didn't understand at first why they were coming back, but the fact that they do come back, it also makes you feel good inside.
It does, yes.
Because you're not doing this, you see, you're not doing this to gain.
No.
But you are putting your all in it, you know, to be able to be a blessing to other people, to the youngsters, and to see them achieve something is the greatest feeling ever.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow. What would you like to say to anybody out there in the community? Maybe I'll start off with the young ones. What word of encouragement would you like to give them? If this was one of the places where you've been said, speak to the young people. Okay, not give us a speech, but you know, this is a platform where they say, you know, can you just say something to motivate or to young people? What would you like to say to them right now?
I know it's a very difficult question because I'm not a motivational speaker.
Oh, you'd be surprised. You'll be so surprised.
But yeah, what I say to young people is that I think we're in the 21st century now, and I think it's the best time to be for to be who they want to be.
Okay.
You know, compared to how I grew up, I just want to say you need to just grab the opportunities that are available for you, but turn them into the positive stuff. Okay. Right. Be who you are, you know, because if you're young, you want to be who you want to be crazy or whatever. But
be crazy.
Exactly. Be who you are, but also embrace the opportunities that you have and have the vision to build something for yourself and your future generation.
That's true. That is a very powerful thing. And I think like what you said, connecting it with you are living your own life, you're writing your own story. Don't think you're writing it for somebody else. You're doing it for yourself. So be who you are, who you would want to be.
Yes.
And what about, you said you empower, because unknown to you, I'm sure you're also empowering a lot of other women out there. What would you like to say to other women?
Oh, the same. Tandie, yes.
It's all right. It doesn't matter even if it's the same thing.
Yes, I think as women, you know, we're the cornerstones of the community, you know, and I think it's important that we play a role in making sure that we have a healthy community. Right. And to my fellow women, encourage your children or your nieces, vasukuru, whoever, to engage positively in things that build them up. We have, unfortunately, we know, I as a mom, as an African mom, we have our own community baggages that are quite negative sometimes, but I think it's important that we learn.
Community baggages? Yes, you mean as in traditions?
There are traditions that are very good, and we need to take them and use them, but also for some of the places that we come from can be toxic. Okay. And I think it's important.
I've gone through a lot of trauma.
Yes, and I think it's important to be able to understand the environment where we are, and I'm not saying necessarily change, but embrace the things that we are given to us, so that we turn them into positive things. Indeed. And not necessarily just carry on, you know, the toxicity into our children.
And not have a toxic environment for our kids, but
and as women, we have the power, you know. We have the power to be who we are. I think, let's change our mindsets in that respect.
Women don't realize they've got a lot of power.
Of thinking, oh my goodness, you know, I can't express myself, I can't be an MC and an MC, you know, which is brilliant skill, and I think I need to invite you to really empower us to be able to know how to express and speak,
be confident,
and be confident, because that's, I think, that's some of the things that I notice. We're not able to express ourselves because of fear of being labeled, you know, of certain things. But
all right. Wow, lovely. Yeukai, it's been really great having you on the show. You are full of things, okay? You've got so many stories, your journey of how you turned, like I said, lemons into lemonade. You went through a test and you've got an amazing testimony, and as well as the mess. And now you've got a powerful message. And you've also been able to create and give birth to something that has grown so wide, so big, and that is motivating and encouraging not only the BAM community or the ethnic groups, but as well as every other woman and man out there. So you've been doing really well. Yes. And thank you for that.
And also just want to say again, message to fathers as well.
Oh yes, of course.
Yes, I think it's important that you participate in what we women do and our children.
I think especially the black men.
Black men, we need you, we love you, you know, and we need you as well. So it's important that we work together to create the futures of our children.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed.
And I just want to say on the final note, Active Horizons is a space for young people. So if you've got your kids that you want them to be part of, we've got virtual programs as well as face-to-face programs.
And where can people find you?
On our website, www.activehorizons.org, or you can find me directly on Facebook, Yeukai Taruvinga, on Instagram. You can like or follow Instagram page for Active Horizons, which is Active Horizons as well. And then you can get updates of everything that's coming up or see what we've been doing. So
are you, in terms of, I think I should ask this earlier, about the children, do they have to be within the same area in terms of postcode, like they do for GPs and schools, or is it children from anywhere? Where do you get children?
Anywhere, yes.
Oh, okay.
Because we've got virtual programs.
All right.
Like the Young Entrepreneurs Program is a virtual program, so any young person can attend, but also people can come to our community center.
Okay. And do the kids have to pay to be part of Active Horizons?
No, they don't pay, they register for free.
Okay.
And most programs anyway are not offered on a free basis.
On a free basis, okay. However, you do, like you said, you're a charity, so therefore anybody who wants to donate anything, please do see you and donate. And I'd like to say this as well, that Tandie Jacobs will be donating to your charity as well for all the hard work you're doing.
Thank you.
And this is absolutely fantastic because we need to support you and support the work that you're doing for the children.
Thank you.
So we'll be giving you a donation as well.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So we've got a little game for you.
All right.
So just relax. Just lighten the mood a little bit. I'll ask you some questions. 30 seconds. No, not 30 seconds. Beg your pardon. I think it should be 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So because I've seen the number of questions that we have here, and you're supposed to give me the wrong answer.
Okay. Oh dear. Okay.
Okay. It has to be the wrong answer for you to get the game, for you to be correct, for you to win. You have to give us the wrong answer. All right? You got that?
I do.
Okay, so we've got 30 seconds. Can I have 30 seconds on the clock? And somebody to then say start, and then we need to hear the TTT that it's time up. Start. Okay. Who is the president of Zimbabwe?
Mnangagwa. Oh, sorry.
Okay, question number 2. You're supposed to say the wrong answer. Question number 2. What is the biggest animal in Zimbabwe?
A monkey.
What material is used to make bricks?
Kente.
What profession was Peter Ndlovu known for?
Dancing.
And the last question, what's the biggest food outlet in the UK?
And
it's time up!
You guys, this game is... I need to take this game to my young people, honestly. It gets you so confused.
Because you want to say the right answer.
This is real.
Well, clearly you did not pass the game. You did not. You didn't win. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been absolutely lovely having Yeukai on the set one with us today.
So I can't repeat it.
No, you cannot repeat. You cannot repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been absolutely great having Yeukai Taruvinga on the show with us today. She's the founder of Active Horizons and is doing absolutely tremendous work with the young people from the ages of 11 up until they're 25. And there's been a lot of positive feedback from people coming back to testify of the positive impact she has been able to instill in them. She's working with about 350 children and it's still growing at large. And so there's a lot more in store which we look forward to. Yeukai, thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Thank you.
It's been really, really great. Your journey of where you started from and where you're up and where you are now. I mean, you said you came in here when you were 18. At the age of 22, 23, you started Active Horizons. Do you mind me asking me how old you are now?
You can guess. I think that's the game I need to give.
Oh, that's the game you want to give me now.
What the game you that game I'm still trying to.
Okay, you're probably about, I want to say 38, 39.
Yes, that's right.
Roughly about 38, 39.
Yes, 39.
39.
Yeah.
And at 39, you're doing absolutely amazing work. So honestly speaking, we're so happy to support you, and thank you so much for the amazing work that you're doing in the community. And please continue to tell your story, because you are doing amazing work and it's very encouraging and motivating. And this show is about Born to Differ, and you are making a difference in the community. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.